Well, good morning. I am Councilwoman Sharron Rogers and a proud member of the Grapevine Garden Club since 1985. And it is my honor today to read the full proclamation that Mayor Tate presented to the Garden Club at the City Council meeting a couple of weeks ago. All of this could not be included on the one-page proclamation that was presented, so I get the wonderful opportunity to read the entire thing, and I'm happy to be here today to do that. Mayor Tate proclaimed the Grapevine Garden Club as the Garden Club of the Year for the entire year here in Grapevine.
The Grapevine Garden Club was formed in 1932 by a group of some 25 civic-minded citizens for the purpose of beautifying Grapevine. The Grapevine Gardens Club currently has 250 members. They remain true to the purpose and interests of its founding members to promote interest in gardens and horticulture, further the protection and conservation of native plants, stimulate appreciation and protection of birds, promote highway and city beautification, actively support environmental concerns, and encourage education to all these objectives.
The Grapevine Garden Club is known throughout the community for its creativity, resourcefulness, and irrepressible energy, as well as for its educational and cultural achievements for the past 90 years. Through its money-raising endeavors, the club has provided funds for donations to civic projects all throughout our community, such as the Town Square Park and the landscaping at Liberty Park's Torian Cabin, both located on Main Street. Members have participated in the installation of habitat landscapes, the Compost Center at Parr Park, the Grace Transitional Housing Landscape Project, the Landscape Beautification Project at Grapevine High School, the Ed and Edith Pewitt Education Pavilion, and the greenhouse at the Grapevine Botanical Gardens. The Grapevine Garden Club members were also instrumental in creating the Grapevine Historical Society, as you'll soon hear about. About 1972, the Cotton Belt Railroad decided that the Grapevine Depot was no longer needed. It wasn't in use. It hadn't been in use. It was deteriorating, so they were going to remove it. Now, you will recall that in the early years, Grapevine was a farming community. Crops were harvested, especially cantaloupe and a lot of cotton. Those crops were brought to downtown Grapevine, where they were loaded onto trains and shipped to markets. Well, as the years passed and as the decades passed, the fertile bottomland all along Denton Creek was acquired by the Corps of Engineers to build Lake Grapevine. Then a few years later, over 9,000 acres of the richest black land in the entire north central area that's on the Grapevine Prairie, where bumper crops were raised almost every year, well, it was acquired to build the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. So with the richest farmland either flooded for a lake or covered up with asphalt and concrete to build an airport, farming pretty well was a thing of the past at that time. When the Cotton Belt Railroad decided to remove the depot from Grapevine, the president of the Grapevine Garden Club was a delightful lady named Mrs. Alberta Nettleton. She was about this tall, and she was a ball of fire. So Alberta and several of her Garden Club friends decided they would not allow the Cotton Belt Depot to be demolished. They wouldn't allow it to be moved outside the city of Grapevine, and they hurriedly made arrangements to acquire it from the Cotton Belt Railroad. So now that they have the depot building, what do they do with it? They contacted the city. The city agreed that it could be set in the city's park on Ball Street, which today is Heritage Park. The ladies then organized a fall festival to raise money to restore the depot to serve as a historical museum. It was a fun event where friends gathered together for a really good cause. They enjoyed the feel of fall in the air, and that festival was one of the occasional precursors of our festival that is held in the fall each year, known as Grape Fest. The Cotton Belt Depot remained in the city's park several years before it was then relocated to its original home, where it now sits beside the railroad tracks on Main Street. These actions of Garden Club members in saving our beloved depot gave birth to the Grapevine Historical Society, of which Alberta Nettleton was the first president. And then a few years later, these same ladies rallied again to save the Torian Cabin from destruction. The Torian Cabin's owner had mandated that it was going to be destroyed if it wasn't removed within 24 hours from the property. No problem. Alberta and her friends came to the rescue. They saved the Torian Cabin from the wrecking ball, which entailed properly dismantling it, numbering all of the timbers, and having them put back together at Liberty Park, which is across the street from our City Hall. Grapevine Garden Club members have been active for all of these 90 years in helping make Grapevine the great place we all enjoy today. Members were dedicated then to preserving the history of Grapevine and created the Grapevine Historical Society specifically for that purpose. A heritage garden was developed by the clubs at the Cotton Belt Depot's home beside the railroad tracks on Main Street to beautify that area, and in more recent years, club members were instrumental in organizing Keep Grapevine Beautiful to further their efforts all throughout the city, and they were also influential in the formation of the Grapevine Botanical Gardens. Throughout the years, the Grapevine Garden Club has donated numerous books to the Grapevine Public Library. They've sponsored educational programs and supported multitudes of projects throughout our community. Club members frequently collaborated then and still do with other city and civic organizations such as the Grapevine Chamber of Commerce, the Grapevine Housing Authority, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, Boy Scouts, and on, various churches. These collaborations included financial support and physical labor alike. Over these 90 years, the Grapevine Garden Club has received many awards from affiliated gardening organizations, city departments, and the Grapevine City Council for their tireless work to beautify our city. The club has participated in numerous projects with the Grapevine Parks and Recreation Department, including Tree City USA and the annual Arbor Day ceremonies. And as a side note, I still have the memo that I sent to the city manager right after I was first elected, requesting that we apply and become a Tree City USA and also hold an annual Arbor Day ceremony. And it is a joy when my schedule allows me to attend that Arbor Day ceremony every year. Garden Club members have participated in school plantings, distribution of trees to third grade students, and served as docents at our Grapevine Botanical Gardens to continue to support many of these activities today. The Grapevine Garden Club continues their commitment to community programs such as the Butterfly Flutterby, an annual Christmas luncheon which include contributions to Grace, and their work to beautify the city by adopting a litter removal program at the Wall Farrar Nature Trail and maintaining front yard landscapes at the Grapevine Housing Authority on West Texas Street in the residential units. The club's monthly meetings are open to the public and offer educational presentations by respected leaders in horticulture, gardening design, wildlife, and environmental science. In honor of the many contributions the Grapevine Garden Club has made to our city, our Honorable Mayor William D. Tate proclaimed the entire year
as Grapevine Garden Club year in the city of Grapevine and recognize the club's involvement in the community to show our appreciation and our pride to the Garden Club for what they do, with the realization that all citizens enjoy and appreciate the beautification projects and continue to support this worthy civic organization that has been with us so long.
We are all proud of our Grapevine Garden Club for what you do, for what you have done for 90 years, with the realization that all citizens enjoy and appreciate the beautification projects this wonderful club has created throughout our community. We happily continue to support this worthy club and are truly honored and so very grateful to have such a dedicated organization in our city.